Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Nikki, and this is Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we watch all the episodes, we look at the cute butts. Okay, she should have said that, not me. But hey,
I look at the boobs.
Nikki, you're back. That's awesome. I didn't scare her. You guys did not scare her away from our last video. So, Nikki, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about top 10 badass men.
Badass men of Game of Thrones. Yes, because Game of Thrones just came out and we are so super excited. So, you know what? Let's just jump into this. So at number 10, we have Oberyn Martell, also known as the Red Viper. This guy was awesome. He's extremely charismatic. He likes the guys and the gals. It's fine.
Keep
and you know
your
what?
options open.
He has more options basically, but he doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care what people think about him. But he's politically savvy, and he's a badass fighter. And the only person to do what?
Defeat him?
Defeat the Mountain. Yeah, he did. I mean, granted, the Mountain did crack his skull open, but if his arrogance and confidence would not have gotten in the way, he would have beat him.
He would have. And that's a sad way to see him go, because he was just amazing. We're all rooting for him, and then...
I was shocked. Actually,
I was too.
I was just shocked when he died.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I'm still in mourning for that death. Okay.
Me too. So moving on, we're going to talk about number 9, Bronn. Bronn is a fun character.
Love him.
He does not play by rules of Game of Thrones. He's not like the typical person trying to get success. All he cares about is gold. So he's loyal to wherever the money is. He goes where the money is. So that's obviously going to be with the Lannisters.
I love that fight in front of the moon door.
The moon door.
That was so awesome.
That was he was doing that for Tyrion, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He actually was one of the first characters to actually harm a dragon.
Oh, that's
I
a
thought
good
was
point.
pretty cool. And all I have to say about Bronn is I don't care who gets on the Iron Throne. If Bronn does not get his castle, I'm riding in the streets.
Riding.
So
yes.
yeah,
He needs his castle.
Yep.
He deserves it after all he's done for the Lannisters.
Yes. So coming number 8 is Ned Stark. Ned Stark, I mean, he was only in like 80% of the first season, then he died. But you know what?
So tragic.
But you know what though? First of all, he was an amazing fighter. He went toe-to-toe with Jaime Lannister, and Jaime's one of the best swordsmen in the land. Yeah. And I think Ned might have beat him, and I think Jaime was very disappointed that he got stabbed in the leg, because that was the first time I thought Jaime was tested in a long time. Yeah. He was the patriarch of the Stark family. He was the hand of the king. He challenged the small council, and he also uncovered about the king's bastard sons. And I was heartbroken when he died.
Yeah, it was very devastating. He also definitely has. I feel like he's an old character in a sense that he has the old mentality. We have the old gods with him, and he has the whole North that's backing him up with loyalty. But unfortunately, that does not work in this new world and the new society, and therefore he just cannot win at Game of Thrones, because that's not how the game's played. So so sad, Ned.
The last thing I want to say with him is he knew the origin of Jon Snow, and he disgraced himself because he knew how important it was to protect Jon Snow, and he literally took that secret with him to the grave, where maybe a weaker man would have said to his wife, look, this is actually my sister's kid, we got to protect him. But he knew that this was so important that he shared this with nobody.
Yes. Yeah, he was definitely loyal to the end for his family. Next on the list, we have Khal Drogo at number 7.
AKA six-pack. I'm sorry, where'd that come
AKA gorgeous.
So,
I love Khal Drogo. I think that he is an amazing character. He definitely thinks outside the box of the Dothraki. He doesn't try and marry the typical Dothraki. He has somebody that is completely different, looks completely different than anybody he's ever seen before. Falls in love with her, and then wants to do anything and everything she says, including doing something that the Dothraki have never done before, which is get on a boat and go to another country and try and take over, conquer the world, basically. And he does this all for the love of his life.
My two favorite scenes was when Daenerys' brother would put the sword to her belly, and he's like, I want my crown, I want my crown. And he gives him his crown.
Gives him a gold crown.
And the second one was when one of his lieutenants was challenging him for marrying Daenerys and having her give him instructions, and he beat the crap out of the dude and ripped his tongue right out of his throat.
Oh, that was amazing. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, no. It was
Very
just
gory. Good job, Khal Drogo. You are a badass.
So, coming in at number 6 is I can never pronounce it. Dario
Naharis?
Naharis, yes, exactly. Basically, he was one of the lieutenants in the Second Sons. They switched him up with a different actor.
The first actor is the best.
Actually, I really preferred him as well. Plus, I also liked him in Deadpool. But he, first of all, he was brave. He killed his commanding officers just because they gave him an order that he did not want to follow. They went into the Slaver's Bay and just beat up.
They penetrated that.
Yep, and he was great. I love the character. I loved in the second season he was in, where he was challenged at the gate with a horseman, and he kills the horseman, and then just takes a piss in front of everybody. that was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. One thing I want to note about him is that he becomes someone that's very important to Daenerys because they start becoming friends with benefits, and he has no problem challenging Dany and giving her his opinion about what's going on and what she should be doing or shouldn't do, and kind of giving the background of the people to give her a little bit more of an understanding.
Right.
I like that he doesn't mind challenging Dany.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one thing to accept truth to power, but it's a completely different thing to give truth to power, and that takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
So coming in at number 5?
Sir Jorah Mormont.
He's like the definition of friend zone, right?
Yeah, he's the ultimate friend zone. Yes. This poor puppy dog is completely in love with Dany, and it's nice to have a puppy dog, I guess, every once in a while to do your bidding. But we've seen him go across the country for her constantly, whether it's on her demands or just something that he's trying to do to get back in good graces with her. We've seen him get, what's that, the rock skin, and then get all that ripped off, which I still can't watch.
Imagine having your skin peeled off
slowly,
without screaming or making any noise whatsoever. And probably, I think my favorite scene with him was when he was in the arena. The main arena fight, right?
Yes.
And he wasn't the best fighter.
No, and he's gotten pretty old.
Yes, but he survived, and he was one of the people that saved Daenerys.
And I think it's all because of his love for Dany.
I love that moment when he got up to her chamber and just offered him his hand, and she took it, and just the look between those two.
Ultimate friends.
They might not be intimate lovers, but they love each other.
Yeah, in a friendly way.
And coming in at number 4 is Jaime Lannister, probably at the beginning the most cocky, arrogant, douchebag, incestual characters we had in Game of Thrones. He's a talented swordsman.
Yes.
He has some impressive titles. He was a King's Guard. He was the King's Guard, and he also is known as the King's Slayer. What do you have to add about Jaime Lannister?
Well, I love that eventually what we see as his character develops, we get to dive into it and see that, he may have been the Kingslayer, but he also saved hundreds of thousands of people because he knew that the Targaryen king, the Mad King, was going to destroy the whole city. And that is the only reason why he came and killed him, backstabbed him, and became the Kingslayer. So much like Ned Stark, he's keeping this huge secret from everybody and taking on this role of being the Kingslayer when what he really did was save hundreds and thousands of people.
That's a really good point, because the Kingslayer has always been a derogatory phrase to him. I would say probably my most memorable scene with Jaime was when he got his hand chopped off. Just the suddenness of it. I was as shocked as he was, and he didn't give up. He had to learn how to use a sword with his left hand. And he's defied his sister, and she's as we talked in our last video, she's not one I would want to defy.
No, definitely not. One of the things I really love, like you said, your favorite moments with Jamie. My favorite was when he's on the boat with his daughter, and he finally has that conversation with her, and she knows. She's like, "Dad, I know," and he gets to have her for a moment. Actually, gets to be a father, and it just gets ripped away from him.
I think the travel with him and Brienne really developed his character.
Yeah.
But I think holding his daughter while she died was a true turning point for him.
And I feel like that maybe is why he was okay with turning his back on his sister and going and doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, that's very good. And number 3?
Number 3, the Night King.
Ooh,
this guy
this got cold.
This guy is creepy. So he's the ultimate power, if you look at it like this, because he is the king of death, so to speak. He's able to control everybody that's ever died in the North. And he has this power. These guys don't die unless you kill them with Valyrian steel or
Dragon Ice
or
Dragon Fire.
So these are the only things. He's also able to take down a dragon. This is the first we see him, a dragon being defeated.
When he threw that spear and just,
my heart
I'm like, okay, that's just gonna sting a little bit.
Nope.
It's gonna hurt maybe.
Nope.
He'll walk it off tomorrow.
Nope.
Oh, he died.
He died. So now he has a dragon, and he's able to take down the wall, which is not only a wall that's been put up for centuries, it's also got a magic spell on it, so they can't come across the wall. But when he uses the dragon, knocks it all down.
Yeah.
So he's got the ultimate power.
Yeah, no, I just, you know what, the origin, the Children of the Forest, they created him because they thought that magic was leaving, and well, they just made the worst enemy possible.
That's how it usually happens.
But, we have White Walkers and we have Whites, and he controls both of them. I do know that there will probably be a one-on-one fight between him and Jon Snow, and I can't wait. So, speaking of Jon Snow, number 2 is Jon Snow, the King of the North, the Captain of the Guard.
The bastard.
The bastard, Lord Commander. That's what I was going to say. I love Jon Snow. He's also the Master of Death. I mean, he died.
He's another one that's been reresurrected.
Yep. I mean, how can you not be a badass when you give Death the big finger, right?
True.
No, he's just a great character. He started as the step, the red-headed stepchild in the Starks. He went to the Night Watch. He got promoted to Lord Commander. He's made some really good friends. He's promoted one of his friends. He died. He came back, and now he's king of. Is he king of the North?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's king of the North. And
I think what I love the most about Jon Snow is that he was able to get the Night's Watch together, even though half of them hated him. He still was able to take them and bring over the wildlings and get them to do something that they haven't done for hundreds of years. They've been fighting. You got the King of the North that was able to bring all the wildlings together, but he brought 2 people that hated each other for so long and brought them together to fight. Not only that, but he's trying to convince the whole world that they need to band together to fight against the king of the Night King. So with him doing all this battling and trying to get everybody to be cohesive together, he could be saving the world single-handedly.
The thing I like about him is he was not destined or ordained to be a leader.
No.
He had no plans on
to ever do this.
No, it's just oh look, I'm now part of the Night's Watch. Oh look, I'm now Lord Commander. Oh look, I'm now King of the North. And
he just wanted to be a ranger.
Yeah, that's it. So props to you, Jon Snow. And by the way, you totally just skipped that whole friend zone thing and went right to Daenerys, who's your aunt, by the way. That's kind of creepy. So okay. So here are our honorable mentions.
Coming in at number 1, we got Tyrion Lannister.
Wow. The guy's like this big, and you're like, how did he make the number 1 list on your top 10? If you have to ask that question, you're not a Game of Thrones fan.
Nope.
Why is he a badass?
Tyrion's a badass because he, like most of the other characters that we have on this list, had this huge diversity that they had to overcome. He is an imp in this family, that's this really prestigious family, and he has to make up some way to make up for his impness, I guess, if you will. So he reads a lot. This has made him very educated, which has made him a very good, not leader, but I guess right-hand man of a leader.
Yeah.
He's able to communicate to them what they need to do for the people, and he's able to play this game. He thinks it's fun, and he's great at it. I think that he's extremely loyal to his family. He knew about Jaime and Cersei and said nothing until he's been backstabbed. Once he's been backstabbed so many times, it's like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do what's right, just like Jaime. So he goes out and finds Dany, and he's like, I'm going to make you the person that sits on that Iron Throne.
You know, when you first meet this character, you're like, man, the dude has two hobbies, drinking and sex, and that's it, right?
And reading.
Well, yeah. But probably the two scenes that really strike out for me was when they were being attacked, and he was the hand of the king, and he was actually leading the troops in combat. He was inspiring them.
He did a great job with his speech and getting them to. That's great leadership skills.
Yeah. The second scene for me, and it's probably a two-parter, was when he discovered Shay in his dad's chambers.
That was just heartbreaking.
You know what? My heart broke for him.
Me too.
I immediately, once Shay turned against Tyrion, I just like, oh, bitch, you're gone. That might get beat, by the way. But and then when he finally confronted his father, I didn't believe that he killed him. I thought he just really hurt him badly. I'm like, he's dead.
He did.
Yeah.
He got him.
What were your two favorite scenes?
Well, I don't know if I have two favorite scenes, but one of the things that I love the most about Tyrion is that even though he comes from the Lannisters, and Lannisters all just care about themselves, they don't care about anybody else, and there's a huge rivalry between the Starks and the Lannisters. But even with this, when Tyrion's married off to Sansa, he's the nicest to her.
He was a total gentleman.
And he just tried to help her as much as he could with however he could, you know, and that to me shows that he's a true gentleman, and he's just a good person.
Yeah. So guys, that was our top 10 list of the most badass dudes of Game of Thrones. What did you think of our list? Did we miss somebody? Was somebody on there that was on there that you disagreed with? Hey, throw that in the comment section down below. If you like this video, hit that like button. You dislike this video, smash the dislike button. I don't cry that often. But hey, for future content, subscribe. So with that being said, peace out.
Peace out.